Hello, this was day 10, and today I made a newsletter. The only newsletter that I actually keep up with is We're Here by John and Hank Green, so that's kind of what I tried to model that one after. And the reason why I like that newsletter so much is because it seems like everything that they put in the newsletter is something that they care about. So that's what I tried to do with mine. But I also feel like that was a little bit vulnerable, or it felt very vulnerable, because I was kind of showcasing exactly what I think is newsworthy, what I think is important, and what I prioritize. And that's a little scary because I think a lot of how I kind of protect myself socially is trying to figure out what other people find important and then kind of morphing myself into seeming like a person who also finds that thing important. So I think writing this newsletter and showing exactly what my priorities are is a little bit scary because I can't morph myself into what the viewer wants me to be. I'm just very obviously stating what I find important. And I think one thing I'm self-conscious about is not being as involved in political issues as I could be. And I've heard arguments for why everyone should be politically involved, and I agree with them a lot of the time, but it's just right now something that I don't find myself thinking about a lot. So that was a bit difficult, trying to not force myself to research about some political thing that I could care about to include in the newsletter. And even saying this out loud right now, I think it feels very vulnerable because it's kind of like admitting to this fact that political news is not one of my priorities right now. I also think because I enjoy the We're Here newsletter by John and Hank Green so much, I think I also ended up kind of modeling mine after theirs a little bit too much. It's very, very similar, like the themes and the format. And I think it there was a point when I was creating the newsletter where I kind of realized how much I was mimicking their style. I wish I approached it in a way where I kind of have reflected a little bit on how I would make a newsletter first before starting to write it, because I think it did end up very, very similar to something that they did write. I do like what I wrote, but it feels like an imitation of their newsletter rather than something of my own. And that's it for today. Good night.